Hi, this is Terry White, and this is video 1 in the Budgeting for IT series based on the book What Business Really Wants from IT. There is another video series that deals specifically with what business really wants, and I recommend that you look at that series as well. But let's move on to budgeting. Why should IT budget correctly? Well, other than the obvious reasons of knowing how much you need to spend and where that spend is going to go to, business has expectations of IT. Firstly, they expect IT to manage themselves in a business-like way. Manage IT like a business, not necessarily as a business. They also expect IT not to surprise them in the middle of their budgeting period with a new budget requirement. They expect IT to demonstrate that they have control over IT expenditure. They want IT people to be speaking in business terms, not in IT terms. And then finally, and probably the most important part of budgeting correctly in IT, is you need to create an understanding of what IT really does and what they really need in terms of funding. Let's have a look at the benefits from an IT perspective of budgeting correctly. I've often had it with managing directors when we present this model that they say to us, this is the first time I understand why IT needs to spend the money that it has asked for. The model will also allow you to differentiate between absolutely essential spend and optional spend. That is, spend that can be either delayed and or ignored. Then you need to be able to show IT's contribution to improving business as a business. The model will allow you also to demonstrate where necessary the need for strategic funding. An important part that comes from using this budgeting model is that you are able to protect the funds that you need to provide the essential services to maintain business momentum as it stands. You'll also be able to get funding for technical infrastructures that business doesn't understand, or in fact doesn't need to understand. You will get funding to improve IT's capability, so the capabilities of your people and of your department. You'll be able to manage your budget in an open way that both business will understand and you will. You'll also be able to show that cutting costs very often means increasing risks and or diminishing service. So you'll be able to be talking about these things to the business in business terms rather than in IT terms. And an offshoot of this has been that where we have used this budgeting model in companies, almost invariably, certainly on the first presentation of this budgeting model, IT comes away with more funding than it initially was looking for. Why? Because business starts to understand that they are spending money in the correct areas, and business very often asks them to spend more in certain areas. So in the next video we'll initiate the budgeting model.